when we have a low sense of self-worth due to anything, but many times due to something really painful, something traumatic, something that tested us in a way that made us question ourselves, we either go one or two routes. One or two routes. And both of these routes are usually trauma responses, okay? Not everything is trauma, but think of something that happened that made you question your worth and that has put you in a position where you don't feel worthy enough today. Or you simply feel like you could feel more worthy, like you really want to honor and value yourself more than you do. So the two routes that a woman usually goes, it's that she either becomes really arrogant, and that is usually a very masculine response. Like she becomes extremely independent, extremely productive, extremely outspoken, and she does not really care. She does, but on the outside world, she does not really care how she comes across, what she says, or what people think about her. She feels like there's no need for any type of communication. Like if there is a misunderstanding, like she'll just run over you. And this could be you. Nothing wrong with either one of these. I just want to paint the picture. And what happens is when you really step into your worth and how this can shift. The other response is usually that you feel the need to prove yourself. And this is usually a response of the wounded feminine, like you're not really in your feminine energy the way that you could be or that you were in the past. And due to this, because you don't feel worthy, you care too much about what other people think. So you will prove yourself or attempt to prove yourself over and over and over again. And even in situations where you're being manipulated, gaslit, like someone is gaslighting you, and they're saying like, who are you and what do you have to offer and what do you have to bring? And you've done a lot of things for this person. You've been an incredible person. Instead of just being like, hey, I know who I am and what I've offered and what I do offer. And I don't need, I need to prove myself. Like, I don't have to give you a resume. Like, you won't say that. Instead, you'll list the thousands of things, and it won't come from a place of like, I really want the person to understand me in that situation. It's more about, I don't want to lose out on this connection, even if it's a trauma bond. Okay. But on the other side, where it's like arrogance, the response is arrogance. It's more about not caring if you keep the connection, which many times can be good, obviously, if it's the wrong person. But what happens is with the extreme masculine approach is that you lose out on genuine connections because you don't take the time to reflect and really see the situation for what it is, because you're so afraid of getting hurt and you're so decided in that you don't have anything to prove whatsoever. Does that make sense? So the cool thing is the more that you heal emotionally and the more you learn to love yourself and you feel the true sense of self-worth, like you really honor yourself, you respect yourself, you know that you're worthy, then it's like that line kind of like crystallizes, or we can also look at it in a different way, like it fades. Because now it's no longer about choosing sides. It's not about not having to say anything, but it's also not about needing to prove yourself, if that makes sense. You find the middle ground because you're rooted and grounded in who you are. And when you find that middle ground, the level of communication that you have, the way that you communicate, the way you present yourself, the way that you make other people feel, that will be the determining factor for who will be in your life and who is worthy of being in your life. Because over here on the arrogant side, it's like you walk with your nose like up here. I'm better than everybody else. But on the other side of needing to prove yourself, you're walking like with your head down and you think everybody else is better than you. And you constantly are trying to find ways to prove that you're good enough. In the middle, it's like, I know who I am. I know my worth. I respect myself. I honor myself. I do want company. I do want love from others. I would love the affection and the attention and all those things. And this has nothing to do with simply one kind of relationship. This could be your work relationships, your friendships, family relationships, love relationships, right? It doesn't matter. You know who you are. And you're not afraid of being vulnerable, but you're also not afraid of having the boundaries that are needed when you realize that someone is taking advantage of you, when someone is not really respecting you. And this does never happen unless you get to know yourself and you see your own true worth. Because the reason why you're so self-critical, the reason why you're not true to yourself fully is because you're still living in your head, believing the lies, telling you you're not good enough, telling you something is missing, telling you you need to change something, telling you you should be comparing yourself with someone else. And so then what happens in the world, what happens with most women is that instead of getting to the root of why did that occur in the first place, you tend to begin trying to change things about yourself. You look at another woman and you're like, how is she acting? Let me act more like her. You look at another woman and you say, how is she thinking? Let me try to think like her. You look at another woman and you say, or you think to yourself, how can I change the way that I look so I can look more like her because she's more appealing? Or you look at another woman and you think, well, what she does for a living is more attractive. Let me try to do what she does. And it never addresses the root cause of the problem. And the root cause of the problem that led you into one direction or the other is that you misplaced your worth in someone else's hands. You misplaced your worth in someone else's hands, and you began believing the lies that they told. And then you try to fit into a certain criteria. You try to fit into a box of what you think that other people want you to be or how they want you to look. And so the crazy thing about this is like you end up being like a hamster in a hamster wheel, and then eventually like you'll fall off or the wheel will break because you're trying to catch up with something in the wrong direction. You're not taking care of the root cause. And the root problem is you misplace your worth in someone else's hands. And to survive that, because it's not natural to us, you either had to become really arrogant and act like you don't care about anything, but you do. Or you had to become the person with the constant need to prove yourself. And because of that, you lose out on so much of your life force and your capacity as a woman, right? So if we're not attempting to change ourselves, if we're not attempting to add or minimize who we are, if we want to truly be true to ourselves and stop self-sabotaging and stop comparing ourselves, we need to take a step back to recognize and realize why this began in the first place. Like, when did I begin acting this way toward myself? When did I begin being this way in the world? What beliefs do I have about myself? What thoughts did I develop as a result of being compared as a child, or being cheated on in a past relationship, or being betrayed by a friend? Like, what was it that led me to this point of acting this way, and then addressing that? Because I've said it many times, self-love is about having an honest, a reflective, and an actionable relationship with yourself. So if you want to be true to yourself, it's important that you have those components and you focus on that. Because you want to focus on those things because you want to get to know the real you. And it's only when you get to know the real you and you decide who you're going to be in this world, that is when you're going to begin feeling worthy. That is the only time you're going to begin feeling worthy. So you don't have to be on this end or that end. You get to be in your own lane. And then whoever is attracted to that, it's none of your business. But what is going to be your business is that you're going to have the gift of knowing yourself and what you desire. You're going to know your worth and your truth, and you're going to be walking in your power, and you're going to have the choice of making who deserves to be in your life, who you choose to have in your life. Is going to be a privilege. It's going to be a privilege. Over here, it's too much surface level relationships. It's too much, I'm nothing. Over here, it's like, too good enough. I don't need anyone. I can do everything on my own. But both ends are extremely lonely because you don't feel good about yourself. You don't believe that you're worthy. And there is not the emotional depth that you crave as a woman. But you can have that when you choose to get to know yourself, when you choose to heal, when you choose to decide who you're going to be in this world. And you get to the core of it rather than trying to change yourself to fit in a box, or fit in into what you think others want you to be. All right? So think about this for a moment, reflect on it. You can journal around it. But if you do want more support with this, my membership Worthy is structured around helping you walk this path. Walk in this path of getting to know yourself, healing more deeply, releasing these parental wounds, letting go of toxic patterns and behaviors that have caused you in the past to choose the wrong people, to make specific decisions that haven't served you. The entire membership is structured around that. And almost every day, Monday through Thursday, something new is delivered that will help you get to know yourself on a deeper level, that will help you heal wounding that you've been carrying for so many years. So if you want a part of that, and you don't want to be on one of these ends, and you want to walk in your power, then this membership is for you. And all you have to do is message me. It's $44 a month or $440 for the entire year, and you get 2 months off. You get 2 months for free. We've already covered so much already, and you get bonus master classes, you get a community, you get to request trainings. It's like a whole vibe. All right. So thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.